Hello Internet, and welcome to some more Pokemon TFG figure review action, and this time we're going to be looking at the exceptionally rare sequel set to the Pokemon TFG set Next Quest, which was Groundbreakers. Groundbreakers was never officially released. Some figures, however, were released. We're going to look at all of them here in this first video part of Groundbreakers. I'm going to section this off based on, one, how many Groundbreakers I have at the moment, and how many I'm able to accumulate, and it's pretty easy to section this first group off because these were actually released, minus this one right here. We're going to get to you, Dialga. I'm sorry. Now the guys in the background are probably like, "It's not released, Alex, what are you talking about? You're an idiot," which is probably true, but the thing is, I'm going to get to it. Just give me a moment here. So, the first sets that were released with Groundbreakers were only out for a little bit of time in some Walmarts and a couple places where you would be able to get some starter sets for these sets, which are kind of for this set Groundbreakers, which is they were really similar to the Riptide and Flamethrower sets, and the main rare figures you would get in those were Latios and Latias. And man, are these amazing ones. Now, obviously because these were not released, or, I mean, technically they were released. Some of these are just very, very hard to find, even though they were out for just a little bit of time. These are just phenomenal figures. They just look fantastic. And even fighting in the game-wise, they are just insane. I'm even going to show you what these do to the game. And when we go to the other Groundbreaker parts, technically, since a lot of the Groundbreakers you're going to find, kind of like my Latias over there, don't have bases, we're probably not going to cover what they actually do in-game. I can show you guys if you are interested. You let me know down in the comments. We'll see what we can do. But anyway, like I said, some of these were released, some were not. So, Latios here, in my opinion, is one of the most OP figures of the entire series. And aside from the fact that, hello, look at that sculpt, this is one of the coolest figures in the entire TFG, in my opinion. He is so amazing, and he just spins perfectly well. Man, it just looks like he's just rocketing through the clouds, and man, rocketing is right, because this sucker is just completely unstoppable. He is a 3 movement pointer, as we can see right there. He has 2 pretty large dodge regions on either side. Back here, he can hit you with a Psychic, which will do 40. It's a pretty big chunk. 40 is not really safe, but it's a decent amount of damage. And the other side is Luster Purge, 80. So that's his own unique move, so it's pretty cool. He also has an ability that goes around him, which is the only one that is actually a hindering ability, which says Mirage. If Latios is knocked out, remove Latios from the game. So he is a one-and-done, send it to the goal, win right away kind of figure. And you know what? It probably works. I can't really tell you if it works or not because I was never actually able to play him, because until just recently I've only had a Latios that did not even have a base, which I don't even see it. Where did it go? Where did it go? Yeah, he ran away from me. He rocketed around or something or other. I don't know. But anyway, so the figures, obviously a lot of the Groundbreakers are just going to be detached right here. Obviously we're going to see because of the Latias. And, you know, some people will actually take these bases and tear the stickers off so they can give their Groundbreakers a base to stand on by just gluing them there. I'm thinking about doing it myself, and especially getting some fake sticker prints of what the attacks actually do, and corresponding them with some of the Pokemon, just because some of them are really rare, and I'd like to have them have a really nice stand to stay on, especially if you're gluing it there. I mean, might as well make it look nice, right? I think I'm just talking here just to hold the Latios a little bit longer, because this is just a really amazing one. So, obviously, to make up for the fact that it is, like, completely overpowered, it is hindered, because as soon as it is gone for good. And this Latios here actually has the exact same ability. Unfortunately, mine is unplayable, because it does not have a base, but obviously you can't play TFG anymore, so at this point when we're talking Groundbreakers, people are mainly buying these because these figures are just amazing. Look at this Kyoto sculpt, it's just fantastic. A little bit of a downside with my Latios, it is kind of beaten up, it's not in that great of shape. The cloud right here is kind of gritty and not looking so hot. There's some paint mistakes on it, but it's not that big of a deal. Big issue I have with my Latios, or Latias, I'm sorry, is that it is really hard to get at the stand. It only has a little bitty base right there, and it's got to be able to fit that peg inside of what I just showed you, those little black bases, and man, it's actually pretty tough to get this one in there. I actually cannot get this one to stand properly. I might have to shave out some of the base, but anyway, a really nice one. Latios would be the other rare that you would get in one of those sets. This would be the alternate one. I do have it pulled up just if you're curious what it's going to do. It has two decent-sized miss regions, about what the dodge regions were on Latios, and it's got a 50% chance of hitting its Psychic, which does 50 damage, and it has about a 1/3% chance, it's not a percent, whatever, of hitting Mist Ball, its unique move, and doing 70 damage. So kind of interchanges some of the attacks, doing a little bit less damage in the heavy hitting and a little bit more in the weaker attack, and replacing the dodges with misses. It has the exact same ability as Latios, by the way, which means it's a one and done. It's going to die as soon as it is knocked out, so probably not as good of a choice as using the Latios, but whatever. So kind of think I should save the Dialga for last. Actually, let's just get him up right now, because for one, I can show you, this is one of those bases I was telling you about. People will take the figures off, destroy the stickers, to give them a nice base for their other figures, which, hello, look at this Dialga. Now, the Dialga, as I was saying before, was not technically released. This is a promo figure for the TFG set, and there is a Palkia as well. Those are both of the promos that you can find. As you can see, there's some transparent plastic inside of him. It really looks amazing. He's one of the coolest figures in the TFG, so really awesome one to hunt down. And there is a kind of an easier way to find this figure, because it's the same figure technical sculpt. I know, unfortunately, mine did not come with its base. A lot of the promos you'll find will actually come with the bases. The Palkia, I've seen a couple of them online, not for sale, just images, and they tend to have their bases. I also have this pulled up to show you what Dialga did, because it's pretty cool. He was another really insanely powerful TFG figure to use. Granted, the series kind of ended, like I'm saying. I don't know if you guys are so interested in hearing what these attacks are doing or not, but I will just recite them, at least for this first video. So, for 42% chance, he had his unique attack, Roar of Time. If the defending Pokemon is knocked out by this attack, your opponent takes the next turn. So that's only really good if you are using this Dialga as a straight-up attacker and you just kind of follow people and attack them. He's a one movement pointer. He has an equally sized attack of Dragon Claw, 60 damage, and then about 16.5% of miss. So not amazing, pretty good, not amazing, but still, that figure you just can't argue with. Now, I'm going to show you the secret about my Dialga figure. I think it's actually not a TFG. I think, even though physically it is the exact same sculpt and is made the exact same way as the TFG, the seller probably didn't realize that this was from the bottle cap series, because I think because of these pegs being in different spots than one in the center, which is how all the TFGs work when they peg in, this is meant to stick onto a bottle cap instead. Now, it's not that big of a deal because it really is an identical figure. It really just helps it stand on this base a little bit better for me. And, I'll be able to find the Palkia this way and probably just stick them on there as well. Thing is, they're both very expensive and hard to find. The bottle caps, however, are much easier to find. So it's really not going to be that difficult to find those, hopefully. So, speaking of really hard to find, let's show you probably one of the hardest figures to find that was from those early release sets. I'm not sure which one it was. I think they're called Whirlwind and Skydive, I think. I don't remember who was in either because, obviously you're not going to just go out there and buy them anymore. This Mightyena is an extremely hard one to find. I don't know why. His price is so high for being common of a Groundbreaker, because of all the Groundbreakers, there's some insanely rare ones that we're going to find later that I'm going to show you in other videos that are just extremely expensive. And then there's this Mightyena who was actually released, and you look at it like, sure, it looks really cool, there's a lot of Mightyena fans, but why would this cost so much more than the others? And by so much more, I'm talking this is around 25 bucks if you found one of these. So it's kind of ridiculous when some of the other ones back here can go for as low as $3, and then all of a sudden there's just Mightyena. What's the deal, Mightyena? Anyway, really, really awesome figure, though. I really like his pose. When you spin him, he just looks so cool. He's whipping up a little, I don't know, Thrashing Storm or something. He's just awesome, so detailed, so nice. He does a couple of flakes in the paint on mine's fur. So we can get up really close, we can see that snarling face. It's really, really nice. I like how all the details are painted in here, the paws, the claws, everything. It's just fantastic. So let's take a look at what he does. I honestly don't even know. I just got this one very recently. By very recently, I mean today. 2 movement points, and does a pretty decent chunk of damage here for 50. Other spot over here, bite 40, so not amazing yet. A little bit of miss, and then 2-star purple taunt. Mightyena and the defending Pokemon spin again until they don't spin purple. Okay, so I've actually seen that before on a 3rd set Pokemon. That is pretty good, because if you fight a Pokemon who has a large miss region or something where you're pretty confident you're going to beat them with either 50 or 40, this pretty much guarantees that Mightyena is going to kill them. So you have to be strategic with this thing. You can't just go wildly in the battle like it's posed. So that is a really cool one. I'm really glad I found that one, because you'd be surprised how long it took me to find this figure compared to all the other Groundbreakers. Now I just said all the other Groundbreakers. I don't have them all. I have a lot. It's just a lot. So let's take a look at the next one over here, which is a really nice one, Geodude. I only had this one as a figure until just today yet again, to where I got the figure on its actual base, which is nice, so I can actually see what its attacks are, even though you can read them online like I was just doing. But anyway, this is another really amazing figure. The Groundbreakers, in my opinion, are sculpted so amazing. Everything that was amazing about the Next Quest sculpts, Groundbreakers did even better. It's just incredible. I mean, look at this. He's just like busting the ground. There's so much action and force in this pose. Like, how do you even begin to sculpt something like this? It's just amazing. So he's even painted pretty well too. I mean, just incredible. It's just a common Geodude. Really, I mean, they put so much effort into this. It's amazing. So he's got 2 movement points down here. As we see, there's a little bit of miss. Rock throw, 40 damage. It's just 25% chance or so. Roll out 30 times. Ooh, now he's looking like he's similar to the Golem. Let's see. Spin until you get a result other than roll out if this attack does 30 damage for each roll out. So that's going to stack and do some decent damage, but it's about not too good of a chance that you're going to keep hitting that, but a pretty good one. And then you can hit Self-Destruct over here. 3-star purple Geodude and the defending Pokemon are knocked out. So you can use him as a bomb as well. So he's actually a better version of the Voltorb figure, except Voltorb had 3 movement points. Geodude can actually fend for itself with this rollout move right here. So aside from that, he's actually pretty good. That's a pretty interesting one to fight with. Like I said, I haven't actually seen his sticker because I didn't have him for a while. Now, this one, Hariyama, as well as the next one we're going to see, and actually I think the figure after that as well, I was really lucky and found these at a local store for just a couple bucks each, and I was just freaking out that I found Groundbreakers there. These were my first ever Groundbreakers, and I had them for a very, very long time before I decided I'm going to start trying to finish off Next Quest's collection, and then, of course, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump from there to try and start collecting the Groundbreakers and the other sets. So this is really, really crazy. Take a look at this Hariyama here. He's just so bulky. There's not many poses you could really get Hariyama in, but this one actually looks pretty interesting. So pretty cool. A lot of motion in this. It's really nice. I'm not like a super huge fan of the Hariyama, just because I was like, well, I got that one like right away, and it wasn't in an amazing pose. I'm not a super huge fan of Hariyama. It's just like alright. Well, let's take a look at what he does though. 2 movement points, which is kind of surprising for how beefy and slow you would expect him to be. Slap Push. That is the sissiest attack I have ever heard, Pokemon. 40 damage. Miss. Yet another Slap and Push. 40 damage. Man, you are a wuss. 2 movement points. I'm sorry. 2-star priority. Push away. Move the defending Pokemon 1 space. Then move Hariyama into the empty space. You're just such a jerk, aren't you? You're just a little... You just push your way through and expect to get to victory. Well, I'm sorry, Hariyama. Okay, whatever. You go just pushing pushing people around and being a big jerk. That's what you're gonna do. Let's take a look at the next one. I'm sorry, Hariyama. So here we go, we're going to look at Radke here. This is an interesting one, at least I think so, because I kind of like seeing Radke actually look more like a rat instead of the odd standing up creature that it tends to look like. I really like how he's bending over and it's got its claws out and very large whiskers. It looks very small, and it looks more rat-like than I've ever seen it before, which is really surprisingly nice to see, for me at least. Now, this is one of the simplest attackers in the game. 3 movement points, and it only has 2 options for attacks, and one of which, oh my gosh, it's just all tackle right here. 10. Yeah. You're asking for it, but if you hit this Eradicate head-on, 70 damage, that's pretty good. So, I don't know, is it worth it? I don't know. That is a ton of 10, which is basically, you're asking for some pain. So, I don't know about Eradicate. Might be good, might not be good. I personally think there's better 3 movement pointers out there if you really are going to play the game. So as we see, there's only 2 figures left, and they are both trainer figures. And hey, they look familiar, don't they? Well, yes they do, because this is Trainer Green. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry, this is the exact same figure as Trainer Red, except, yep, you guessed it, he's painted green. Yep, fortunately though, this kind of ridiculous of a figure is not that hard to get. It's about as hard to get as the Radke, the Hariyama. Well, actually, you know, I've never seen Radke and Hariyama on the internet, now that I think about it. I've only seen them in that store, where, same store where I got this, by the way. Those were the 3 figures I got outside of. I also got Voltorb there from the Next Quest set. But anyway, the Trainer Green and, he's got a different name on the bottom of him, I think it's Landon, are kind of easier to get. Probably because people don't really care that much about these. They're just kind of there. Plus from the fact that it's the exact same sculpt, and the paint, it's not Trainer Red, you know? As you can see right there, green. Wasn't that creative? No. No, it wasn't. Don't even lie. It would have been really nice if they made a Trainer Blue and actually sculpted it like whatever you want to call him, blue. I just said Gary, so you know what I meant. Don't give me any of those anime haters out there. Whatever. Anyway, so here was the other one, the alternate paint color of Brendan, I'm sorry. I think the one we got at Next Quest was the Sapphire colors. Yes, I just peeked up above. Yes, it is. So this is the colors for Pokemon Ruby, and where, yeah, his name is Landon. Whatever. And of course, as you've seen, the trainer figures, whoa, the whole thing just kind of came apart. Okay, the trainer figures have the extremely large success region with a little bit of miss. This is basically just to play your trainer cards to see if they work or not. So that's, it's okay. I mean, I like the fact that they are recolored to fit the different games, because this technically was the same person playing in a different Pokemon universe, so he can be just repainted. Same thing for Pokemon Trainer Green, and we're going to see in the 3rd set Trainer Yellow, and then the Emerald version of Brendan, Landon, honestly, I think it's Sean, that's his name, so whatever. It gets a little weird with those trainers. Hey, maybe if we had a 4th set, we finally were going to get more characters, maybe the female and Trainer Blue, that would have been interesting. Not Trainer Blue as in paint this guy blue, that's not what I mean, guys, you know what I meant. So, that is it for the first section of Groundbreakers. Just letting you know, guys, from here on out, they are going to get rarer and really, really exciting. So, some really cool figures are going to be coming soon in the Groundbreakers set. Be sure to stay tuned. I'm going to leave some notes in the comments of the most recent Groundbreaker video to let you guys know which Groundbreakers I'm looking for. If anyone can give me a hand with finding some of them, it would be greatly appreciated. More of these videos will be coming soon then. So like I said, thanks for watching. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed the videos, and as always, I will see you all next time.